Greetings and welcome to Transit Ministries, our YouTube channel that dedicates itself to men and to those who walk with men. We continue with our series, which is helping us brothers to ensure that we reduce any possibility of us being manipulated by women. We've anchored our study, our analysis, our perusal of the scriptures in the book of Genesis, because it is the book of beginnings. And we have looked at Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 1, we saw how the Lord created the heavens and the earth. We saw how man was created. We're going to the fifth thing that we need. We're talking about 10 things that we need. Today we're looking at number 5. We've looked at the Spirit of God as the first one, which we saw in Genesis 2, verse 7. We saw a place of God to fellowship, to worship, which is Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. We saw the third one, which is the servant leadership as a quality, the ability to give before you get. And number 4, we saw a very important one, which is work. Man needs work. And today we're saying the fifth one is man needs to understand how to secure, how to guard, how to protect. Brothers and sisters, you understand that while work, the one we looked at yesterday, building, cultivating, working, building, ensuring that you get creative and bring into existence certain patterns, certain shapes, certain ways of doing things. Whatever you have built, immediately you build it, it becomes the target of the devil. As soon as you create, as soon as you cultivate, when you cultivate your crops and you make sure that the garden is looking good, your cabbages, your vegetables, whatever it is, as soon as you walk away, animals will want to come and eat. So the same thing, whatever you create, as soon as you've created something, because remember, to work and to guard. That's what the Bible told us, that man was put in there to work the garden and also to keep it. When I say keep this for me, when I come back tomorrow, I expect you to still have it. In other words, you must make sure that no one touches it. So the fifth thing, over and above just having work, is also whatever the fruits of that work, you must guard them well. So in other words, if you've worked, if you've spent time working, and you've come up with certain fruits of that labor, certain profit from that labor, that which you have come up with needs to be looked after. There is a stewardship function over that. You need to make sure that it is not depleted. You need to make sure that it is not wasted. And so that's a very important aspect on its own, and it's distinct from the actual building, from the actual cultivating. So brothers, we need to be able, for whatever it is that we've worked at, we need to be able to cultivate. In terms of just building, let's look at just building. If you build a house and then you don't maintain it, you don't guard it, you have a fundamental problem. You need to be able to guard that. You need to be able to guard yourself as well. So everything that we've been talking about is something that you need to be able to do, but those lessons were also for Adam to be able to do that for himself. Because you cannot protect anyone if you cannot protect yourself. So the Bible makes it very clear that God walks Adam through this whole step-by-step process of a relationship that helps him to understand that Adam needs to be able to do certain things. So the difference between creating and safeguarding is fairly straightforward. Most of us love to acquire certain things, to work towards the acquisition of certain things, but we're not good at maintenance. For example, someone will buy a car and they're not very good at making sure that it is serviced frequently. There are obviously dangers to that. People, when they aim to acquire certain very important assets, they do not actually think about the total cost of ownership, which includes maintenance. They only think about the cost of acquisition. So if there's a car that costs $15,000 and I have $15,000 and that's all I have, most of us think I can actually afford to buy that car. Maybe you can afford to procure, to purchase it, to acquire it, that's all. But you cannot afford to own that car. You cannot afford to run that car. Because we must always think about to actually work and to guard, to actually cultivate and to secure. So we need to think about what it actually will require from us to get to a certain point and what it will require from us to stay there and keep improving. And so the importance of guarding and guarding what it is that we have created or we've cultivated is an important thing that most of us have become very poor at doing. So my challenge to you, brothers, is how many times have you found yourself just about to get into something that you have not thought through? You have not actually thought about how you are going to maintain something after you have built it, or after you have acquired it, or how are you going to maintain a particular status after you have achieved it. So the same thing happens in our relationships. We think that it is important to actually get into a relationship. You go through courtship, and at the stage that you actually get to be accepted as a partner in this relationship, you forget about the energy and the effort that is required in maintaining that relationship. So all you have done is you've cultivated and you're not being good at keeping. And so crucial for us, we need to be able to do this. But because this is a self-study, first and foremost, all the studies, Spirit of God, is about knowing that you have the Spirit of God in yourself. So the second thing is a place of God, a sanctuary that you need to go to. And as we said, everything starts with you. You cannot help someone if you cannot help yourself. So it's important that you go there before you try and drag someone else to go to church with you, to go to a place of worship with you. Have a relationship yourself first. The third thing is having cultivated that spirit of servant leadership, understanding that you as an individual needs to be a servant. Humility becomes important. You need to submit yourself in order to understand that. And that way, if you do that, my brothers, you'll be able to understand how to expect other people to relate to you. The fourth thing we said was to dress it. It was put in the garden to dress it. And we said that's work. You must find work. A man needs work before he needs a woman. You must find work. You must find something to cut your teeth into. You must find something to make yourself useful around. So work, and we said work is distinct from a job. You need to be able to make yourself useful, find something to do yourself. And the fifth one we said is the ability to maintain, the ability to guard, to secure something. That which you have built, you must secure. Because everything that you have built, the enemy has their eye on it. They want to destroy everything you've built. So that's why he was given the responsibility to cultivate and also to keep. And so you need to also, as a man, you need to place yourself in a situation where as soon as you have created, as soon as you have built, you protect, you ensure, you guard, you maintain, so that you do not have a slide back, so that you do not have everything that you have built being destroyed. Remember, from a secular perspective as well, any one of your customers is actually your competitor's prospect. So anything that you have achieved, the devil has his eyes on to destroy. I hope you have learned something from this podcast, and thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe. The details, the name of our channel, the Transit Ministry, is at the bottom of your screen. And please watch, please share, please comment, and if likable, please like. But most importantly, please subscribe. God bless you and thank you for watching.